I need to record something. I think one thing that's kind of important, part of what I guess I kind of like brand as being like one of the most important thing, like is something I kind of, how do I say, it's I think I want to tell this story of like maybe like 2 years ago. I was something happened with my mom, and I have a not completely good relationship. It's like we can have it's just we have a really like complicated past, I guess, and I can very easily feel like it's like the same kind of messed up dynamic, like it kind of resurfaces, and it's like kind of a familiar thing for me, like this again, like when it happens, I just like kind of recognize it, I guess, and yeah, sorry, 2 years ago, like I don't think I will describe it concretely, but we had like I would say I had a moment of like acting out, and it was in public, so like there were people who saw, so, and yeah, there was like a gesture from a stranger who I guess felt bad for my mom, and that felt really like humiliating to me. It's like not only am I being angry, but I'm also kind of taking it out, acting it out towards her, and it's also seen and kind of like indirectly condemned. And I think that's like one of the things that can really trigger me, like between when it comes to her and I, where it's like I don't know exactly how, like, but just something like that. It's really triggering, and I was we were as a family like driving somewhere right after that, so I was in a car and with my parents, and I remember like just kind of internally experiencing a lot of very difficult and strong, like intense emotions, and like almost like I had to like either collapse or explode. So I kind of tried to like I ended up like basically distracting myself with my phone, and eventually I it's like I don't know, it's like in that moment I had this awareness of like I was so thoroughly like wrong in the wrong, and or like I mean I think not really that I was wrong, but like I knew that to someone like someone neutral that I I would have like been in the wrong in this situation, and to me internally how I experience that is like I'm completely bad, kind of, I guess, like just like it felt really unacceptable to me towards yeah, sorry, but and I think there is like some kind of I don't know, something going on like I just there was just this like this drive to inside internally to like just keep pushing the other way of asserting somehow, or like finding some way to like assert myself in the other direction of like I wasn't wrong, or like I'm reacting to something real. And I was scrolling for I don't know a long time, and like suddenly like I kind of it's like I crossed this like threshold, and sorry, and I was I yeah, it's like something shifted in me, and I was kind of able to like occupy a position that felt very assured and strong, were like the terms in how I understand like our relationship and what it means about me as a person, like morally or something, just completely reorganized, and that kind of involved like a framing of my mom being like just fundamentally not liking me, I guess. So there is this, I guess, coexistence of like this almost survival anxiety of like my mom fundamentally like feels hostile towards me or something like that, and but it also coexists with like this new sense of almost freedom, or like being alive, or something like being vindicated, I guess. And I think but to me, like, what I find sometimes remarkable is that there are these like standards, like these boundaries that are set by like I guess moral, like common sense almost. It's like these it's self-evident that this is like right and wrong, and I need to hold myself to certain standards, and yeah, like make sure I'm upholding them, like with my the way I narrativize my what I do and stuff like that. And on the other hand, there's this imperative to function on my own, which I kind of struggle with pretty much like whole life. I think one of the most kind of reasons that, or justifications that like or complaints that I get kind of I have gotten kind of targeted, I guess, for is like I'm unreliable, I'm like incompetent, or I'm stupid, or I'm lazy, I'm not independent, I'm not strong and capable, and like yeah, just like I'm not somebody who like gets a job like at a young age and learns to like do everything themselves. I was the opposite of that for a long time in some pretty significant ways. Even now, I'm like almost 27, and my parents still pay for everything. Anyway, yeah, like this simultaneous like moral standards paired with this need to function, and I find, especially in that moment, I think it's really rare that I can kind of have this revelation, almost like it's like this needs to be known through like rare revelations that like just yeah, it needs to be it needs to be discovered through revelation, and it's like kind of a reflection on like how it's just not not taught to me, I guess, or to others, as maybe not taught to others, not taught to people, everyone. And that thing is that if I do not make myself follow these internalized like I guess common sense morality, if I become if I exist in a way that is counter is transgressing those like bottom lines, then it actually like helps my functioning, makes me more functional, and less dysfunctional. Sorry. Yeah, and I think I can kind of map this onto like when I think of like traditionalism, like like things like filial piety, or like maybe more conservative-ish tradition facing sentiments of I don't know, like I guess some more sorry. Nothing. I'm trying to think of an example. Like I don't know, like maybe if a teenager is like saying, "Oh, my like life is hard," then they might get like chastised, like or like kind of rebuffed with something like, "Oh, your life is so easy, like you don't go to work," and I don't know, they're like, you have a you're sitting in like an air-conditioned room and there are kids starving in Africa, kind of thing. Sorry, that was kind of offensive. Sorry. Yeah, like or they're like homeless people and like you have it so easy, kind of thing. Yeah, and I guess like there's like this need to like be okay within that sort of bubble of like moral decency, I guess. And that like very often I think like kind of takes the form of this like being like traditional or sometimes like conservative and stuff. And I think like I think about how like if I let myself go there, I can name off lots of things that like are messed up that don't seem to be recognized, acknowledged, or like admitted in the kinds of morality that like I kind of get that I've been surrounded with, like stuff like I guess I don't know, like some ways I was treated as a child that I just knew were wrong, but it's like the fact that I know it's wrong is like kind of increasing my risk in some way. But I kind of fuck. Sorry. And there's like this kind of hand in hand thing of like, like kind of going back to example of like, because it's the only one I really have right now, but to illustrate the teenager saying my life is hard, and someone, but like getting a response of no, you're in a safe home and like your life is comfortable, like and you're like just a kid, but you're saying that your life is hard. And there's kind of sorry I can kind of like say that like there really is something going wrong, and but in order to be a good person, like within that kind of system of harm, the teenager in that situation would need to meet certain moral standards, I guess. So like maybe they would need to become more grateful or something, or something like that. I don't know. And like I don't know. I just don't know how to say this in a more complete and illustrative way, because I'm more just like piecing together some sort of like the more salient parts that I remember from like just kind of gathering in fragments while some of these thoughts kind of were brewing in my head. But there's this sense that there's violence or like abuse in the environment that's just there, and in fact we need to move on. Like we might feel this internal obligation to honor the way things are, and kind of like acknowledge like a kind of debt to everything. And that kind of just we need to move on. Like I'm not I mean, maybe that sounds weird because like sometimes that means different things. Like I think what I'm saying is like or what I want to say, what I'm thinking about in this moment is like uh, I think there is this like aspect of violence, almost like, yeah, like violence is everywhere, and with the way things are, like in the kinds of like ways that like violence gets perpetrated through I don't know, like morality, or like these like kind of lighter ways that morality is like imposed on people, and also moving on from the status quo is like also like choosing to move on without negotiating with it is also like it can come with a kind of violence, I guess, like this unavoidable like just this sense of like, oh, maybe this isn't okay, like who said I can do this, right? Like who said I can like just ignore all these morality, like these moral obligations, uh even though but it's like I want to say that there's like a kind of Platonic essence, or like, I don't know, some kind of ideal form of violence that's not in the ways that it usually like appears in terms of like what I have like experienced or seen as like abuse from, or like, yeah, this like oppression of other people, and of children, there's, yeah, like it's like choosing to move on from like something that generates hate inside of me, but not just that, like also to further myself, like further my true further myself, and accept the good in self-interest is like, in a way, like turning my back on something and walking away from it, and relinquishing like my yeah, there's like a violence in that, I guess, and that's why it can become like causes sort of vague unease, and like discomfort, or sense of like, oh, am I well, I'm not allowed to do this or something, I don't know, I'm sorry, but sorry, I'm like so fucking dorky and like cringe, but yeah, like yeah, I think, I don't know, like